When we talk about retirement, most of the time it's about money, how much we've saved, how long until we can finally stop working. But there's another side of retirement that few prepare us for, and that's the psychological trade-offs. Today, we're talking about those life-altering trade-offs Gen X will have to face if we want to retire. And this is not about discouragement, it's just really kind of a wake-up call. It's meant to help you arrive mentally prepared. So let's go. Okay, first on the list to give it up is getting regular paychecks. Now there's a deep comfort in getting those bi-weekly paychecks. I know it is for me. Money showing up on a predictable schedule, knowing exactly when it's coming, how much it will be. Steady paychecks, they remove uncertainty. They make budgeting feel automatic, even formulaic, just routine. In retirement, that certainty disappears. You're no longer being paid for time, something that's been a fact in our lives for decades now. You're relying on what you've built, what you've been able to save. Your spending money will largely be based upon constraint and discipline when withdrawing from your nest egg. And that mental shift, that can be jarring, even for people who have enough saved. Retirement means letting go of that comfort of guaranteed deposits. And instead, we need to learn to trust a plan instead of a paycheck. And if that idea makes you uneasy, you're not alone. It's a sign that this might be something that you need to practice emotionally before retirement, not after. And I know that's something that I'm going to work on beforehand with myself. The second trade-off is when we retire, we lose automatic structure. Work, it gives us a built-in schedule. Wake, eat, commute, work, commute, repeat. In retirement, structure disappears overnight. And a lot of us, that's why we're retiring. We want to get away from that structure, right? Now, I've had a full-time job since my very, very early 20s. And although I have a disdain for structure, I've not had much choice all these years but to abide by it. For better or for worse, it's usually what everything in your life revolves around. And whether we like the structure or not, I've come to learn that it is something that I need. And it is something that most of us need. And just like a child that needs boundaries and rules, all through our lives, our days and our weeks, they need rules and boundaries as well. Now, for example, with me, I know structure, it causes me to live healthier. It causes me to eat at regular meal times. Structure makes it easier for me to be sociable and even get out of the house. I have a reason to shower, put on makeup, and get dressed. But once that job or that responsibility goes away, you have lots of time without purpose and constraints attached to it. And an unstructured existence, that can shorten your health span, your lifespan even. Maybe when you first retire, you want to spend those first 2 to 3 months being a free spirit, video game playing lump. Don't ask me why I use that as an example. But after that, just expecting structure to happen on its own, it doesn't work like that. We have to make it happen on purpose, and we have to remain disciplined enough to keep it going. And whether we like structure or not, because we're all different, we do need it in our lives. Maybe you look at structuring just chunks of your day. No, don't micromanage it. That is what we're escaping from when we retire. Now, I've already been thinking a little bit about this for my own self. And I'm thinking that maybe, mornings, I'll use that for health-related things, fitness or my spiritual health, reading the Bible, praying, even healthy, meal prep. And then in the afternoons, I'll save that for chores, projects around the house, errands, outings, and then let evenings and weekends just be whatever they want to be. That sounds pretty good, right? Okay, the third life-altering trade-off that we'll have to make in order to retire is to stop ignoring dissatisfaction. Now, this one could be the enemy of a peaceful retirement, because once you retire, all the noise quiets down. Maybe with the hustle and bustle of raising a family, working full-time, busy lives, that has kept dissatisfaction at bay. Dissatisfaction with the city you live in. Dissatisfaction with the house. Dare I say, your partner. Now, just because you don't have a busy life to distract you, that doesn't mean you're headed for divorce. It can be a blessing in disguise, because now you're forced to face it, to deal with it, to overcome it, and possibly, yes, make some positive changes. The fourth trade-off that will not work in the retirement chapter is going with the spending flow. Right now, you might be in your peak earning years and the spending to match. But if spending is stress relief, you'll never be able to afford peace. If you're living beyond your means, the older you get, the harder it is to retire. Overspending hurts your ability to save, to build an emergency fund, to pay off your debts, and to ever stop working. And if you've been trying to keep up with the Joneses for years now, it is time to end that relationship, because that baggage is way too heavy to carry into your retirement. Without a constant paycheck coming in, we have to be more mindful of our spending. And instead of just getting pulled along by marketing and advertising, and algorithms and spying cookies, we need to take back control now, not after we retire and we're forced to. After we turn 60, Gen Xers, time becomes our most valuable commodity. It's not money and it's not things. Okay, number 5, the comfort of not touching your nest egg. Well, that ends with retirement. There is a comfort in doing what you know, doing the same thing for months and years and decades. Uncertainty, now that's uncomfortable. And one of the most jarring things that you'll experience in order to retire is to start withdrawing from your retirement funds instead of contributing to them. Watching it decrease when we're used to watching it grow, being faced with the fact that there's a finite amount, and plus the uncertainty of how long that needs to last, there's definitely going to be a discomfort in that. A discomfort that we'll have to overcome. And some will experience it a lot harder than others. But if you're going to retire ever, and we don't have decades to postpone it, we have to find a way to make peace with spending what we've worked so hard to create. Maybe we can think about it like this. Imagine that you're baking this elaborate cake with lots of layers and pretty icing. At some point, the goal is to sit down, cut that cake, eat it, enjoy it, not to keep, adding more and more layers, not to put it in a trophy case somewhere. The true beauty of a thing materializes when it performs its very purpose of creation. And at some point, spending our 401k is a prime example of that. Retirement isn't a 20-year vacation or even a party for that matter, but it can remove the noise from all the busyness and the mundaneness of everyday life. And when that noise is gone, what's left is who you are, how you spend your time, and what actually brings you peace and happiness. And these trade-offs I've talked about, they're not easy, but thinking about them now, that will give you the upper hand later. So I want to know, which one of these feels like the hardest for you to give up? Leave a comment about it so we can all read and share. I did a video last week of the 7 sacrifices we'll have to make in order to retire, and if you haven't seen that yet, I've linked it right here. So if you'd like to come along as we redefine what aging and retirement looks like for our generation, please subscribe. Also, hit the like button if this resonates. Have a great week. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Benji.